Hello all, this is JC3 from Is This Real? Do you want to start your own podcast? Then look no further than Buzzsprout.com. We here at Green Hour Media use Buzzsprout, and we love the team at Buzzsprout. They are all about helping you succeed. Buzzsprout gets your show listed in every major podcast platform. Follow the link in our show notes to let Buzzsprout know that we sent you. It gets you a $20 paid Amazon gift card if you sign up with a paid plan and helps support our show. Join us and over 100,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout.com to get your message out to the world. Welcome everybody to another great episode of Is This Real? As you can see, I'm trying to get the A, and here we go. So we have our first live streaming video, and I'm here with everybody. So we have Dad, we have Josh, who's our first. He's on our first Is This Real as a primetime member. Hello, Joshua. Sorry for all the camera work there. There you are. You see the other two on the other side now. And then, like I said, it's going to go back and forth between both of us. Now, remember, this is just, it's technical. Mm-hmm. We've had a lot of technical difficulties in the last hour and a half.
Yes, we have.
And I know both of them are trying to... just get it here with me. But unfortunately, like I said, no intro. I'm doing all this work by myself. So you're going to add the intro later? Is that how this works? Not for the video.
No? We're just coming on saying we're here?
Yeah.
Hi!
Yeah. So
just turn around. You see our ugly
no credits running? I thought the fucking credits would be running. I wanted my name on. What the fuck?
No, nothing.
Mickey Mouse operation.
We are live. Oh, see, look, I keep on hitting the wrong button. So
look, fuckface. Is he going to get this shit going? Because if not, I mean, come on.
Yeah,
I'm
I know. You have
to
get
Pepsi
back to
here.
your fucking your thing. Speaking about that, don't say Pepsi, and I'm going to take my thing. Here we go. Okay, so we are live. Tonight's episode is going to be about the Conjuring Universe. See, I keep hitting the wrong button, motherfucker. So yeah,
I'm going to kill him.
Shut up. So it's about the Conjuring Universe, and we're doing part one of two-part episode. Tonight's episode is going to be about Annabelle, it's Annabelle Creation, and the Nun.
Annabelle Creation, yeah. and then I believe it's Annabelle.
Yes.
I believe. Anyway, yeah. Well, if it isn't, it is now.
That's true. So, yeah. So, tonight, as I said, we're going to start off with that. Now, Dad, I know you've been watching the movies, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
That's
yeah.
an answer. What the fuck you want me to do? Send you over snail mail? Yeah.
Now, what did you think about the movie?
Yes, Medish. Well, now we're going to go in order of the actual timeline. The Nun would be the first movie in the timeline. Mm-hmm. And the Nun, played ever so eloquently by Bonnie Aarons, who I think she's really good looking. A lot of people will disagree with me. I disagree with you. I think she really plays. She's really not in this movie a lot for a movie called The Nun. She's always standing behind somebody, or she's creepy here, she's creepy there. I just thought, if that, I'm trying to find out research on if this was part of a true story with her or whatever, but I haven't really come up with that. So I really don't know. Josh, you got anything that maybe you dug up on this one?
Not really so much. I can just really say I find it odd how you say the girl who plays the nun is attractive. Just because her face looks like it's dead to begin with. Mm-hmm. She looks like a live dead person. Like, I don't think they could have found a more perfect person to play a possessed ghost or dead ghost, whatever, however they put it.
But she does it so well. I mean,
yeah, she fits well. Like, they barely had to do makeup other than change her color, but
Now, this movie, I don't believe this movie has anything to do with Annabelle.
No, this movie has nothing with Annabelle.
Right. So, I mean, but it's really a creepy movie. I mean, the setting is in, Romania and an old, I'm going to call it a nunnery. I guess they call it a convent.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
And to find out, of course, we're going to have spoilers here, so you're just going to have to deal with it. To find out that the nun and all the nuns that were actually living there when, what are you shaking your head for?
Somebody's behind you.
I'm talking about the fucking Conjuring and somebody's behind me?
Yeah, Caden.
Caden, you got to get out of here. Thank you. Anyway.
Yeah, you can't do that with the nun. You can't talk about that and have somebody pop up behind you like that. That's a no-no.
There was a lot to that movie that really freaked me out. I mean, to find out the nuns that were actually in the convent later on were dead. I didn't know that. You would think they fit in, but the whole movie, the creepiness of the movie when they're down in the catacombs, at the beginning of the movie is fucked up because, the one nun hangs herself, and then they got the other nun. The two of them are walking down in the catacombs, and they open up that door, and she gets taken in. That's just creepy the way they did that. And again, as far as the Conjuring universe, they had to do something with that story to get that nun so she could be in the Conjuring too. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what the story behind adding her into that was. Like, I don't know why they chose to have the story of the nun, because I don't know if this story is true or not. That's the thing.
Well, I think they're trying to tie it in with the demon Valak. That was because that his name popped up, or her name, or whatever it was, popped up in a couple of the movies, the earlier movies.
My whole thing with that is that true though? Like throughout the Warrens' lifetime, have they been dealing with a demon named Valak?
Yeah, they have.
Like throughout the entire their entire like.
Yes, they have.
Sorry about this.
Again, the demon itself is going to come in many forms. So I don't know. Again, this is Hollywood we're talking about here.
Yeah.
When you leave that part of the nun, and it sets up the next part, you're going right into Annabelle creation. What's the matter with your mic?
Nothing.
Okay.
There we go.
When you go into Annabelle creation, they mention that demon in that movie.
Yeah.
So now you got the nun tied in with the Annabelle creation. Now, the nun itself was just really a good horror story. A little slow, but a good horror story nonetheless. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed the nun too.
So, I mean, I don't know what else to say.
Josh, did you see the nun or no?
No, I only saw clips of it. I actually didn't get a chance to watch it. I think I only really saw, I believe it was, I somehow managed to watch all the actual main Conjuring. I think it's like, 1, 2, and 3 or whatever it is.
Well, the third one hasn't come out yet.
All right, so it was probably just
1 and 2.
Yeah,
and
1 and 2. I got
the Annabelle movie has a third movie, but it chimes into the Warrens' household. It's called Annabelle Comes Home, and it's about basically what it is. It was the Avengers Assemble of the Conjuring universe.
Of horror.
So basically what happened in that movie, and I don't want to jump to that movie, but it kind of have to. It's like all of the demons that they have captured in their house.
Oh, is that the one where the girl accidentally let them all loose in the house in one night?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I did see that one then.
That movie.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. With okay, so with Annabelle, it basically tells a story. I mean, okay, let's stay with the nun, though, because the nun did creep me out. A lot of people are like, oh, the nun's not that good. The nun scared the fuck out of me. The one scene that scared me the most was the one of the nun coming down the hallway floating, and you didn't see her face.
Right.
That's basically what fucked me up.
But that's the whole thing about that movie. That movie was, I think there's 1 or 2 jump scares in the movie, and then you have this stuff that it comes out of nowhere. I mean, you know, where the father is talking to the nun that's supposed to be the head of the nun, and she's silhouetted in black, and he can't really see her face.
Oh yeah, she's dead.
And turns out she's dead, but he's talking to her, and she's talking to him in a really creepy voice, and that's really crazy. And then when the priest is outside in the middle of the night looking for something, and somebody jumps at him or whatever, and he falls backward into a grave. And into an open coffin, it gets sealed, and then the next scene is the top of the grave covered in grass, like it's been there all along. It's just weird shit like that that make you think, what the fuck was that about? You know, and I really enjoyed that movie a lot. Like I said, I like Bonnie Aarons in that role. I think she was phenomenal. I can't see if it was a true story. I can't see them. I just doesn't. I don't know. I can't see that could be a true story, but a lot of crazy shit has happened in our world, so I don't know. But yeah, moving on from that though, you go right into Annabelle, which somehow they try to tie together. Okay, and I don't know, or Annabelle Creation, where they're bringing this one guy. He has a house in the country, and he lets the group of orphans come into his house. And one of them, of course, has the vision. She sees, you know, she feels stuff. She sees different things going on, and it turns out that she's right. You know, she saw different things floating around the house. I'm trying to recall most of the movie. And it involves the farmer, the guy who owns the house. He then takes he's got a wife that he's caring for, and nobody can see the wife. She's silhouetted behind his thing. And then later,
look like the Phantom of the Opera.
Right. Later on, they reveal her, and she has a Phantom of the Opera mask on, because the doll that they had in the house was Annabelle, I believe.
Yeah, it had something to do with, I think the kid, their child was named Annabelle.
Right.
Their child that they lost apparently died for some reason. I forgot.
No, it was hit. It was hit by a...
She?
Yeah, she.
Is still a human.
Right. She was hit by a bus, I think it was, or something like that. I don't recall correctly, but it was weird because whatever they wanted to see their daughter so bad that they gave permission to a doll, to a ghost that they thought was their daughter, to take over this doll, and that was the beginning of the Annabelle. You know, as being Annabelle, you know, the demon possessing the doll, and the doll doing crazy shit. And I do believe the nun that was in charge.
Yeah, I forgot her name, the Spanish lady, right?
Yes, she took him at the end of the movie, and she finally got him out of there. But the little girl, they didn't believe the little girl at first, that something weird shit was going on. But then when she found the mother, or she found the farmer's wife in the bed, and the farmer's wife explained it to her what they wanted to do. So the farmer it comes down to where the farmer let these orphans on his property. Some of them were, you know, just young girls that played and whatever. One or two of them were, they're, I guess you want to call psychic or whatever. They found out what was going on, and then that's where the creation of Annabelle came from.
Well, I mean, also you had to turn around. The farmer told the girls not to go into the one fucking room because he knew that this thing was there. Yeah. And of course, you know, girls being girls and people being people and curiosity killing the cat, they went in and unleash this demon doll, which, by the way, that demon face, whatever they used for that thing, creeped the fuck out of me. That guy who played the demon is probably one of the scariest people to play in those roles.
That's what you're talking about when they were talking to the girl and behind it was the demon. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was kind of like really subtle. That was like a reverse jump scare. You know, you just seen it, and then I didn't see it at first, and then you had said, "Dad, you see that?" I said, "No, I didn't see anything." And then you played it back. So if you're not paying attention, which I probably wasn't, I was like, "Whoa!"
Well, I mean, you see the same demon in the Annabelle movie itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like that basement scene is probably one of the scariest scenes I've ever seen in a movie.
Yeah, I agree. And what's good about this movie tied into Annabelle, the movie Annabelle itself, perfectly. Mm-hmm. You know, where they were, they left, and the doll was thrown out of a window or something at the end of that one.
No,
I'm getting ahead of myself here.
The voodoo lady, she jumped out with the doll.
Right.
What's her face? The chick that you like?
I forgot her name.
Yeah.
Anyway,
she jumped out of the window with the doll because the demon needed a sacrifice.
Yeah,
or a soul.
So needed a soul. The mother in that one. That whole premise of that movie is they actually at the beginning of the movie, the husband and wife are living in suburbia or whatever, and then the people what were the neighbors who actually got shot? Oh, they were ones that adopted the girl that was possessed from Annabelle the Creation.
They were the Higgins.
Okay, and then they got older and they moved to the suburbs, and I guess Annabelle was possessed and she grew up and then she shot.
Her name was Janice, I think. Her original name was Janice.
What was that guy that was with her? I didn't see, where did he come from?
Okay, so basically how the Annabelle movie is the chick that played Annabelle in the Annabelle Creation movie,
right?
The girl that was possessed, she got away from the house and ran away. And they couldn't find her. She's still possessed, and she ran away. So what they did is they took her and moved her into the new movie, but how they tied it in was Annabelle grew up to be in like this Charlie Manson type cult, where they were practicing satanic rituals and all that type of shit. And that guy you saw was a part of the cult with her.
Okay, all right, that's what they tied him in. Okay,
yeah, that's how he got tied in, and that's why he stabbed the mother in the stomach, who had the baby, and Annabelle killed herself because she was possessed by the demon that the doll had.
Right.
And when she killed herself and her blood ran into the doll, it passed the demon back into the doll.
Right.
And that's how the demon started. Caden, go back to your room.
Well, the thing is, my mom needs an inhaler.
I don't have the inhaler, Caden. We're on the air here.
Again, sorry for difficulties like this. But, yeah, so that's the thing. That's what happened with that. So when Annabelle killed herself, Joshua,
yes,
and you look so lost.
Really am, because like I said, I only actually watched the Conjuring ones. The Annabelle's ones I didn't actually catch myself.
Jesus Christ.
I didn't catch myself, but I would like to actually catch up if I get a chance. The dolls itself, what I've seen from the movies, have been terrifying, and I have a history of dolls I don't like, so that's what's kept me from watching them.
I get you. I'm the same way with dolls. I can't.
Yeah.
They scared the fuck out of me.
Yeah. If you can sit there and turn an innocent-looking doll and make it look murderous, yeah, I might not watch your movie.
They did a good job with this one, though.
Yeah, from what I've seen, I like all stills and short clips off YouTube, all that type of stuff. It's really phenomenal the way they do it. Like, I haven't seen anything that's used dolls of any kinds like that for like years now. So, I mean, that's one reason I do want to try and see if I can get into it and learn a little bit about it.
We'll be back after a quick break.
Hey, Ryan. Hi, this is Sarah Palin.
Ryan, Donald Trump Jr.
Hogs to win, see you. Hey, everybody, I want y'all to check out a fellow Marines podcast.
My name is Ted Nugent, and I got a call from my buddy Ryan F. Samuels, and he wants me to tell you that he's a working hard, playing all-American son of a who is celebrating God, family, country.
Welcome to the Ryan Samuels Show, one of the top political podcasts in the United States, where we have a healthy distrust for government and mainstream media. The Ryan Samuels Show is a raw, unfiltered look at American politics.
Yeah, and that's one thing I hated about the Annabelle movies is because of the doll aspect. Like, Chucky didn't scare me. Like, and the growing up, okay, yeah, whatever. But the Annabelle doll, now, looking at the original, like the actual Annabelle doll itself,
Yeah.
you wouldn't suspect it.
Yeah.
No.
That real life doll, what's the name of the real life doll again?
Raggedy Ann.
The Raggedy Ann doll. You wouldn't expect something to attach itself to that.
Yeah.
But in this fucked up crazy world, that's what we have now. You know, again, you could turn around and people agree to, oh, you know, it's not real, it's all fake, blah blah blah.
Well, they say Ed Warren, Patrick Wilson, he actually said the line in the movie is like, and I believe it's the beginning of The Conjuring when they're sitting with the girls and they're saying to the girls, you know, the girls are saying, well, we gave it permission to move into the doll, blah, 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 because we felt bad for it. And he turned around and goes, well, they don't possess, or she said, Lorraine said it, demons don't possess dolls. They're just going to latch onto it.
Yeah, it's called a conduit.
Conduit. They're not going to sit there and get into this. Isn't Chucky, where Chucky took the doll over. Next thing you know, he's strolling through Midtown. That doesn't happen. Okay, but it's what they did with that doll. You know, you look at it now. You look at that doll. They must have done about a dozen of them because a couple of them you look at, she's broken up face on the side. Then you got another couple that are her eyes are wide, staring at the camera, and I can't even look at the fucking TV when she's staring at me. I can't. I just can't. She scares the shit out of me. But now if you go to the real doll that the Warrens have, well, in the museum there. Yeah. You wouldn't suspect it at all. Mm-mm. You know, you would like, oh, what a beautiful little doll, Raggedy Ann. Kids play with it, Raggedy Ann. So they had to do that, I guess, for the movie's sake, and I guess maybe they couldn't do it because they couldn't get permission from the Raggedy Ann people to do it. Yeah, and that would, you know, there's.
But see, the funny part about that, if you look at some scenes in those movies, you see a Raggedy Ann doll in it, like the final scene for the Annabelle Creation movie when the mother comes in, because that's the story from the beginning of, was that Annabelle Creation? No, it had to be Annabelle itself, because the story at the beginning of The Conjuring was that the nurse's mother bought it for her because it was her birthday, stuff, blah blah blah. When the mother comes in the back left corner, you do see a Raggedy Ann doll.
There's little there's little subtle things in there, and like in the Conjuring, the first.
Are you good, homie?
I'm trying not to sneeze.
Fucking sneeze, let it out, bro. Fuck it.
Then keep talking.
Yeah, so that's the fucked up part with that scared the shit out of me. Yeah, because you saw that Raggedy Ann doll in the corner. I'm like, oh, what if it's the real thing?
Yeah.
That's. But they did a lot of that little stuff in there. Because you remember in the first Conjuring when Patrick Wilson and they're talking to the college students, you see they go over the crowd, and who's the first one sitting in that seat?
It's Ed Warren, isn't it?
No, it's Lorraine. Ed was dead at that time.
Oh, yeah.
Lorraine is sitting there, and if you don't know who she is, you would never have known. But, you know, again, I've done a lot of my homework on the Warrens, so I know, you know, I was like, wow, that was pretty cool. They gave her a little plug in a movie. I thought that was good.
No, but okay, so Annabelle Creation, what I didn't like about Annabelle Creation was the fact that it felt too long to me.
To get the story out, yeah, it did.
Yeah, to me, it really felt like the story dragged out, and like, you know, that typical, you know, don't go in here or unless. It's that typical movie, you know.
Well, you knew.
No, but is that the actual origin of the Annabelle doll? Is that the truth?
Well, I can tell you for a fact that as far back as I know, with the Annabelle doll, excuse me, it was purchased at a secondhand shop somewhere. And it was given to one of the girls. Yeah, the nurse. Right. And it eventually wound up with the school kids. Mm-hmm. You know, and they had the problem with it, so they called the Warrens to come over and help them with that doll. So that would be the lead into the first Conjuring movie. So now you got the Annabelle doll, and I think they did that in a way too because they wanted to get that out there to say, we're going to set up a few more movies. We're going to set up an Annabelle movie, an Annabelle creation, whatever, and they had to get that in there. And I also think that they let the Warrens at that point spew some of the stuff that they were going to do in the upcoming movie, about demons and demonology and witchcraft and stuff.
Yeah.
So that to me, I think it was a perfect tie-in. Now we go to, after that one would be the Conjuring itself, correct?
Yeah, it was The Nun, Annabelle Creation, and then the Conjuring itself. Now, Annabelle, and then
the Conjuring.
I do want to get back to the Nun because what pissed me off about the Nun itself was that the end of the movie and how it ended. Okay, with the spitting of Jesus' blood into the face of the fucking Valak.
Okay, I would love to tell you I saw that, but I didn't. I got called out of the room at that point for something, and I missed it, and I haven't gone back to see it since.
You would see that when, do you remember, it's like in the middle of the movie, I guess it's the middle of the movie, they turn around and say the first time when the Crusades were happening, this is what happened, and then World War II came, and that's what broke Valak's container open. So back in the Crusades, apparently that's how they contained Valak, is they got Jesus' blood wherever the fuck that was and poured it on the demon and then prayed to keep the thing shut. And that's why all the nuns were there, is to keep it shut. Now, I like the whole thing that the nuns were never there. They were all dead.
Right.
That's funny to me. Not funny, but that's cool, like a cool aspect to me. But I don't also like that we have to spit Jesus' blood because somebody contained Jesus' blood, and that's how we keep it in.
Like, did they say it was legitimately Jesus' blood or like a descendant? Like,
no. It was a vial of Jesus' blood.
There wasn't vials when he was stabbed and killed. How is that possible?
That's my point.
It's a little. That's just a little nuts.
They're saying like Jesus' whole body was preserved, blood and all.
Oh, yeah, because, BC times, they had vials and containments and
look,
everything.
The phone's ringing.
Oh, and, I thank God I don't see that. Can you, turn that off? Because it's people.
I hope it wasn't somebody calling in. No, they're calling in on your number.
Yeah. No, don't give them my number because I'm using my number for video. Thank you very much.
So how do they call in then?
I told you not to do call-ins now.
You didn't tell me that at all.
Whatever. So back to the movies.
Hold on, Mickey, are you here helping us?
Back to the movies.
So I got a question, though.
What's up?
It's the demon for the Nun and Annabelle, right? The same one that they're mentioning?
No. Yeah. Well, I mean, yes. In a way, okay, the demon that's haunting... Sorry, guys. Yeah. The demon that's haunting Annabelle is not Valak. Okay. It's a different... That's what I was trying to tell you before. Is that they don't cross each other. Okay. Like, Valak is in those movies and so is Annabelle, but The Conjuring 2, and The Nun all are separate things.
Well, see, that's the thing. The Conjuring 1, the demon is Bathsheba.
Yes.
Okay, so there's really no tie-in. The only tie-in you got Annabelle in there is the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So then, all right, so let's...
So it's separate.
So the demon was the nun?
Okay, so Valak is a demon.
Yes.
That is taking the shape of a nun, apparently.
Okay, all right.
So that was the story of the nun. Now, what happened in The Conjuring, it's The Conjuring 2 where you mostly see it, but it happened in The Conjuring 1 because that's the thing she saw in that first video. Where he turned around and said that the guy from Romania during the classroom scene, it was the guy from Romania, right. And that was the same guy that was Frenchie, or whatever the fuck his name is, the same guy that was in The Nun.
I think he's going to turn up to be the guy possessed and the devil made me do it, the third Conjuring.
No, because they got that demon out of him.
We'll be back after a quick break.
Hello, nerds. Come listen to the History Nerds United podcast, and let's make history fun again. We interview today's best authors, whether they are established Pulitzer Prize winners or someone debuting their first book. Let us show you that history is not a boring class you took in high school, but a place where the best stories come from. And we don't just cover history. We also love to chat about true crime, biographies, memoirs, and so much more. So head on over to History Nerds United and let us introduce you to your new favorite book and learn the story behind the story.
History Nerds United.
Well, maybe he didn't pay his excess bill. He got repossessed.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, fuck you. But
Sorry.
no, okay. So
there wasn't a prequel then, was there? Because I think I might be confusing. Because I feel like
basically the Nun is a okay, so the Nun, Annabelle, and Annabelle Creation are basically all prequels to The Conjuring.
Mm-hmm. Okay, was it about a priest that was out somewhere?
That's the Nun. The priest.
The Nun.
Yeah, the priest basically was okay. You know Vera Farmiga?
Yes.
The chick who plays Lorraine.
Yeah.
Her little sister played in The Nun.
Yeah.
Tasia, or Taija, whatever the hell you want to call her name. She played the up and coming nun, I guess you would call it, in this movie.
She was a nun officiate or something like that. Associate. She wasn't a full blown nun yet, but she was on her way. I mean, that's the only way I can say.
They didn't give her full habit yet.
Okay.
And she started to smoke, and that was the end of that.
Okay, so, so basically, that the Nun is like in the 50s.
Yeah,
I think
51, I believe it was.
And then Annabelle Creation is late 50s, early 60s, and I think Annabelle itself is late 60s. No, it's still early 60s.
Early 60s, because The Conjuring is 70.
Yeah, but it had to be. Okay, so that means Annabelle Creation has to be late 50s, and then Annabelle itself, because it was 12 years later,
right,
is late 60s, and then The Conjuring is 71.
70.
70, yeah. So that's how basically. Okay, so how?
But you realize the real story of the parents now. They didn't leave that house for 12 years.
No, I know that.
So the problem started, and they moved in there in 71, and see that's where the timeline gets a little hazy because, they moved in 70, and they moved out in 82. But the way that the movie makes it feel, do you think they moved out like within a year?
Well, you have to do that for movies. They
because the period stuff, the cars and everything else.
They couldn't wait do a 10-year piece.
No, I know.
Within that whole thing, they had to make it with quick and easy. Yeah. But it didn't feel that way to me. Like I know, it was 12, and you know what I also like? I also like they didn't go into the Amityville horror.
Well, they did one little scene. They did one little.
Yeah.
How they linked that up is at the end of The Conjuring when he puts the music box on the thing in the museum and turns over to Lorraine because she had just called the priest and said, "Look, we did the exorcism," and she turns around and goes, "Oh, they just approved it." And Ed laughed, and then she turned around to him and she said, "Well, they want to meet with us and talk about a case they have in Long Island." Yeah, and you put two and two together. I mean,
well, and then they start off The Conjuring 2 in the Lutz's house, in Amityville, right? And that's where you meet the nun.
But the timeline is all fucked up because the Lutz's was 74. In 75.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, there was only 26 days. That was it. They were done out. It might have been, actually, it was 74. So they were in and out real quick. So if the beginning of The Conjuring, or the beginning of Conjuring 2, I forgot what year that would have been. I don't have my stuff on me, but.
The beginning of Conjuring 2 had to be at during the height of Amityville. So it had to be 74?
I don't know. I have to check the timeline on that.
Because that's how they I mean, they end it, we're saying there's a case in Long Island, but when you jump into The Conjuring 2, that is right, I think, during their seance with the Warrens. And they did a seance with the Warrens, right?
Yeah, they did, yeah.
And they recorded that, didn't they? Like
they did. That was actually done for the news.
Yeah.
It was done on Channel 5. John Scott, I think his name was there, and he set in on it and everything. And I don't want to go into that. The Amityville is not what we're here for. Yeah. So The Conjuring itself, to me, it was a really good movie. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the fact that I'm going to kill her. Don't ever fucking do that again.
That's Teresa.
Teresa, how you doing?
We are live on YouTube.
Don't ever do that again, Terry. So yeah, The Conjuring. When we got to The Conjuring, I enjoyed that because Ed and Lorraine Warren were involved, and I thought that was a. I love Ed and Lorraine Warren. They're one of my. They could say heroes to me. I read all their books. I read all the books about them. I've seen movies and stuff. Anyway, so when they did this movie. Yeah, they had to Hollywood it up a little bit because, and now what I want to do with The Conjuring itself, because The Conjuring was a real story.
Yeah.
However, it was a lot worse than what they portrayed in the movie. Now, The Conjuring, the Perron family, the demon Bathsheba, basically was after the husband. The demon was in love with the husband. That's why the demon tortured the shit out of the wife.
Yeah,
she poked her with something sharp. They didn't know what it was, and it turned out that Bathsheba was actually a live person at one time, and she killed her baby.
Yeah,
and then they buried her somewhere on a property, but there was a lot of crazy shit that went on with her.
So, see you guys later.
All right, see you later. And so she was haunting this house, and she just really wanted the father and was torturing the mother. I mean, literally torturing the mother, so much so that she eventually possessed the mother. I mean, you saw The Conjuring, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's basically what was going on. And what you see in the movie as far as like stuff falling off the walls, that was true. But according to the one girl who was, I forgot her name, Adriana, I believe it was, she wrote a book, House of Light, House of Darkness. And in that book, she basically said that the reason why it was that much worse is because this demon always showed itself. And there was always something going on. It was relentless. They wouldn't stop. Now, I wasn't there. But, I believe that what they went through was real. Because at the time they documented everything, and again, there's no proof; it's just their word. But some of the stuff that they said, you can't make this shit up. You just can't. That's my opinion.
You'd have to be really twisted to make up some of the stuff.
But I like the movie. The movie itself to me was just really good. It grabbed you from the beginning, and it held you right to the end. You know what I mean? From the beginning of the movie, when they're talking about the Annabelle doll, you're already hooked. And then they flash forward where the one woman was begging the Warrens to help them. Just come by and take a look. And then the movie just didn't stop. It was boom, 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 boom. And I really enjoyed it about that.
That's one thing I felt not that they missed in the Annabelle movies or even in The Nun. I think it was more just like they're stretching out story,
right,
to get more stuff out of it. That's why
they probably didn't have enough to work with to begin with, so they had to stretch or fabricate or exaggerate some things in order just to get them to work.
Yeah, see, I'm fine with fabricating stuff when you don't have enough.
Yeah.
Like, I get that, because that's just regular movie standard shit.
Yeah.
But my problem was that it didn't feel right. If they could have came up with something better, like the whole Jesus spitting in the blood thing just didn't feel right to me.
Well, then again, if you think about all like the old Catholic type things, exorcisms and stuff like that, some of that stuff isn't right to begin with. If you actually did your homework, there's a lot of that stuff that never sat right.
Oh, no, I know that. I completely get the exorcism shit like that. But the funny part about exorcisms is they're not as played up as, like,
the movies
make them to be.
Right.
Like... But like Jesus' blood and I don't know, with the Annabelle movies, it just didn't, like, I don't think a cult had anything like at least a Charles Manson type cult had anything to do with the Annabelle doll.
I think they had to just do something to get the Annabelle doll out there. I think they had it. They saw a good story, and they ran with it. And they created this stuff, and they brought Valak in from Conjuring 2. Which there's a lot of shit that went on with that. We'll get into that the next broadcast, but they brought her in from that, and they had bits and pieces in one of the other movies. So they had to create something for Valak from the beginning to get her in.
I'm fine. I'm fine with the Valak storyline. I think the only thing that bothered me about Valak, because again, I know there's a lot of fabrication with that, because we don't know what the hell this demon is in real life. Like, we don't know.
We don't want to know
if it is real or not, and I don't want to know. Like, stay the fuck away from me. That's why I wear my cross all the fucking time. But as far as like with Annabelle, there is a true story behind it. There is documented shit behind it, and there should be at least more of a detailed try. If it's not movie related, you can't turn around and take it and be like, oh, this happened in real life and look at it, it's so cool. Like, I get it. If it's something boring, take this something boring and try to fabricate that.
You see, that's another thing, too. With the Annabelle story from the beginning, or even when they went with the school people, the school college kids, where it was moving around and then it wrote all over the place, did you miss me? That's all fabricated. I mean, that's all, that's factual. There's photos. Literally, there's photos. But the problem is to try to relate that photos of real stuff onto the screen. Now, again, in The Conjuring 2, they do that brilliantly, and I'll explain that
in the next episode.
On the next episode, but they didn't. You're up to believe. Well, I don't know if it's true. I can't believe it's true. But when you have photos of it, and you have, again, they're photos.
No, I get that. That's not my problem. Like, the stuff I'm talking about, the movie, the Annabelle movies themselves. Like, is it true that the Annabelle doll was connected to occult leaders? Or stuff like that's what I'm saying. Like, I get it. To use that in the time period it is, because it is the 60s, and to use that in that way to make it like, oh, Annabelle grew up, like, it's named after a girl who's, they conjured a spirit. Like, I get that. The first Annabelle, I'm fine with, like, the original, like, the first Annabelle. I'm fine with that, because I can believe that. Yeah. I can believe people conjure spirits to talk to their dead people
all the time.
And of course they don't know what the fuck they're doing, and they get fucked up and they conjure an evil spirit. Completely believable. Completely. As far as Annabelle creation,
I think you put a cap on that one, is he? Completely.
It's Annabelle creation. That was the one about the old. Yeah. So it's the Annabelle movie itself. I'm getting my shit mixed up.
It can be confusing. It does get confusing.
So Annabelle itself, which is about the husband and the wife and the pregnant wife and shit like that, that is a movie that pisses me off the most.
Why?
Because of the whole occult leadership.
Okay, so it's how they did it. Yeah, I can understand.
Because it adds an extra element to it. Like, she was a satanic cult element, and they used this doll in satanic rituals apparently, but that's not what happened at all. Right. If you look at the movie, they turned around and said, the doll was possessed by the spirit of Annabelle, who was in the first movie the daughter of the two older people, and then in the second movie, the doll is not possessed anymore. It's the demon jumped to this chick Janice, who was possessed at the end of the first movie of Annabelle creation, and then at the beginning of Annabelle the movie, Janice is now an adult. She's a cult leader. She comes back and kills her adopted parents and tries to kill the people next door, but kills herself, and the demon transfers itself back into the doll.
When she died and she was bleeding.
Yeah.
Right.
But, like, that pisses me off because, like, okay, so, like, was she looking for this doll, or it just happened? It was coincidence.
It was just happenstance that she was right next to it as she died.
Yeah, like, not even that. That the people next door of the person of the parents that adopted the possessed girl just so happened to find this doll. And the husband goes, I bought it for you. And it never was explained to me why the wife was looking for that fucking doll. She remembers that one line, I've been looking for this for years. Mm-hmm. Never explained that line.
No, I think she said because she had one as a child.
Then if that's the truth, then that line completely dropped off. Oh. Because again, it doesn't explain. Then that should have been the story.
Right.
That means the wife should have something to do with the spirit and the haunting, but it has nothing to do with that.
Or she, again, it's a doll. They're mass produced. Maybe she had, as a child, she had one, but no.
That doll was made specifically because the husband in the first movie, in Annabelle Creation, created that doll. Because he was a doll maker. That's why the chick had the porcelain face. Because he made that face for her.
Yeah, you're right. It doesn't make sense.
There's a whole... I found a loophole.
He did it live on YouTube.
Live.
Found the loophole.
We're groundbreakers, folks.
Boom.
Blew it wide open.
I found it. Who's the director of these movies? What's his name? James Wan?
James Wan did the 1 and 2.
Well, he's producing.
He's producing them now.
James,
and he actually wrote the stories.
James, I found the loophole in your movies.
Yes, James, I know you're afraid. And I know you're very afraid of this Is This Real podcast. But don't
All
worry.
I'm saying, that's what pissed me. So basically what I'm saying is...
You'll be fine.
The movie that pissed me off out of these three movies we're talking about tonight. Now I know you talked a little bit about The Parent Family and The Conjuring, but we'll get more into the detail in the second episode next week. But Annabelle, the first movie, which I think dropped off out of all three of them. If I had to rank them, I think it would be The Nun, Annabelle Creation, and then Annabelle for me. I know, Josh, you can't really rank them because you didn't really see them, but I think that's my rank for him, because The Nun scared the fuck out of me. Because growing up as a Catholic, in a Catholic school with nuns around me, fuck that.
Let me explain something. I only got about 5 more minutes here, but I'm going to tell you something. The nuns you had a picnic.
Well, I had 2 nuns.
Okay, I had a nun.
Like in kindergarten.
I had a nun in school. Her name was Sister Helen. God rest her soul. Okay, this nun was you want to talk about strict, and she was brutal. What she would do is you'd be playing in the playground, and when the bell rang, whatever position you were in, you had to stop. So if you were in a position of kicking the ball, you had to stop. You froze. If you went to kick the ball and then put your foot down, you were in trouble. You'd get the ruler. She'd hit you with the ruler. So she was brutal.
I would put that bitch in the ground.
No, when you're 6 years old, you're not putting anybody in the ground. You're shaking in your pants. Okay?
Fuck that.
And we had her for 2 years, and we all praised Jesus the day she left, because she was, actually, now that I think about it, they got rid of her because she had gone.
Because hitting kids when you're not.
No. Now think about it. She went into the bathroom and pulled one of the kids' pants down.
Whoa.
To check. I don't know if he peed his pants or something, and they tried it. I don't know the whole story, but I know something like that happened. Now, I'm not saying she was a molester. I don't know. I can't say that.
Well, I mean,
but she was a strict. And anytime you go back into the school, I've been in the school in years, but there's always a picture of Sister Helen on the wall. I literally have to walk by like this. I don't want to see that fucking.
Hold on, which picture is that?
You know where the board is that they have? They had the trophies in it. You look right on top, Sister Helen.
What the fuck?
And she was at the nun at the time when they had the white thing on the outside. Now they have it underneath the dress.
Yeah.
Or underneath the habit. Well, they had it outside. And that was even creepier, And then the other nuns that we had in the school were great. They weren't scared. So your nuns are, you have no idea about nuns. Nuns, they were fucking brutal.
Okay, I'm sorry, but either way, possessed demon nuns scare the fuck out of me.
Just like possessed clowns. Same thing.
Possessed clowns.
You look at a nun like a safe haven.
No, I don't.
Well, that's what you should. When you see a nun, you say, "Oh, she's holy, she's everything." But when you see a nun as a demon, well, that's a tad odd. You know what I'm saying? So that scares you. It's a juxtaposition, is what it is. You look for something in the light that's beautiful and sweet and is going to help you, only to find out it spits blood on you. Like a fucking clown supposed to be there to entertain you, and you go up to it and chews your arm off. So that's that's brilliant.
Fuck clowns.
Okay, well, but that's another story. But yeah, again, none to me. That's why the Nun creeped me out, and I'm glad they made the movie because I really enjoyed. And The Conjuring 2, I really enjoyed Bonnie Aarons in that. And again, there was no speaking parts for her. She didn't have to learn any lines. It's just what she did and how she did it.
How about that? Getting a role just because you're ugly.
She's not ugly, goddammit.
She's fucking ugly.
No, she is not.
Okay, she looks worse with the makeup off.
Folks, Bonnie, if you're listening, honey, you don't. And I hope they give you a series on TV. I really do. The Nun.
Fuck that. I would not watch that.
You must have a real serious fetish for women with extreme cheekbones then.
And
that's all I'm saying.
You know what else? I wanted to give her a Nun. I want a Nun, the whole series, but I want her to be just like she is in the movie, but I want her to be the principal of its school. And I want her to deal with children. And I want to deal with fucking parents.
So do you want to...
That would be the best run school on the planet.
So basically you want to terrify kids as much as you can.
No, not terrify kids. I don't want to terrify kids. But
hey, man, I still have flashbacks from when I was in Catholic school, all right? Those old school rulers that we got hit with, those things were made from real oak.
Shit. Dude, I went to Don Bosco in Patterson, okay? We had my very first principal, his name was Father Jim. Father Jim was about maybe 6 foot, kind of pudgy, no nonsense, no bullshit. We went to an orientation one time, and he was giving us a speech. He's like, there's two ways of doing things here: my way and liking it, and my way not liking it. You knew you were in trouble, and he didn't crack a smile or nothing. So I always wanted to be a cook. I wanted to be a chef. So I remember after it was over, I walked up to him and said, Father Jim, now they offered classes in woodworking and printing, whatever you want to do, graphic arts, electronics. Anyway, they had, I walked up to him and said, Father Jim, do you have any shops in cooking, to be a cook? He looked at me deadpan right in the eye and he said, watch your mother. That's what he said to me. And at that point I knew I'm fucked because this guy, and I'll tell you what really, we were in class one day and a jerk off behind me threw something at him. He was our religion teacher, go figure. And I was scratching my head, or I had my hand like this. I was sitting in the second row and somebody behind me threw something at Father Jim. My hand actually was like this. So he looked at me, comes by and he goes, come here. So that's all right. We went to the teacher's lounge. And he had what they call the Board of Education, which basically was no more than a cutting board with a handle on it. And he drilled holes in it. So he says, you're getting 3 of these. I'm like, I can only use one. I don't need 3. I didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. So he takes me on the table and he bends me over. And he goes to hit me with it.
Oh,
and he got the first shot in. He didn't get a second shot in. And that hurt. It fucking hurt. And you're in front of all the teachers because they're all there, the ones that are in class time. So I turned around and I looked at him and said, you're not doing that again. He goes, I told you, you're getting 3 of them. I said, okay. So just when he said that, he turned his head or whatever. I grabbed the fucking thing, threw it out the window. And I got in trouble for it, but he wasn't going to hit me again.
Yeah.
I said, you are not hitting me with that. Now, at that time, I was 17. You don't go hitting people at 17. You don't do it. Because 2 things are going to happen. Either 1, you're going to get a lawsuit, or 2, you're going to pick on the wrong guy and you're going to get they're going to mail you your teeth. Yeah. Okay? So I'm not going to hit a priest, but he wasn't going to hit me again.
Oh, fuck that. Fuck that.
No, Father Jim, I would that's respect. Okay? But I threw the board right out the fucking window. We were on the 2nd floor. I said, don't ever touch me again. And it hurt. I remember holding back the tears walking out of there, and I went home. I went to the office and said, I'm going home for the day. Well, you can't really I can do that. I'm going home. Called my mother and said, I'm on my way home. I was pissed because it's embarrassing, number one. It's embarrassing to you got to look at these teachers. And to this day, Muggsy still tells me, he goes, Muggsy was my algebra teacher. He's like, I talked to him on Facebook where he goes, I still can't believe you did that. I still can't. Hey, Muggs, it is what it is. And then later on, I became friends with my teachers. I coached with Steve Percone and all this other stuff. Hi, Steve, if you're listening. Still my favorite teacher of all time. Just a plug for you, buddy. But yeah, going back to that's a whole different ball game. The teachers and all this other shit. So I think it's time to wrap it up. I think we did what we set out to do.
So next week we're gonna continue our Halloween episodes. We're going to continue The Conjuring, and we're going to finish the Conjuring movies off with The Conjuring 2, and Annabelle Comes Home, which I think Annabelle Comes Home is in between The Conjuring 2.
It's The Conjuring, Annabelle Comes Home, The Curse of La Llorona, whatever it is, and then
The Curse of La Llorona. Say it.
La Llorona.
La Llorona.
There you go.
La Llorona.
Is that the only reason why you guys put me on this podcast? Because I'm Spanish?
No, it's fucking somebody's got to interpret this shit.
Okay, so next week we're gonna finish those off.
And by the way, just before we close here.
Okay.
Where the fuck is the bun? He didn't even bother calling in tonight, the prick.
I told you he's working.
He's working?
Yeah.
No fucking excuse, bun. Only kidding, bun. We love you. You know that.
So next week we're gonna be continuing. We're gonna get better with these live videos. Right? We had a short problem this week, but we're gonna get better. Fuck you, Josh.
Sure.
Nobody saw that. Thank God. But we're gonna continue.
Sure problem. Now we have to go out and buy the computer, but that's okay.
We're gonna continue with these live videos and get them off the ground. And I have to clean up my booth again. Pause. But
our booth is clean. Josh and I got to clean. Josh and I, he's actually going to bring some stuff in here. He's going to put stuff around, so he's going to make it like a little, his side, my side. We're going to be fine.
I hate both of you. But I might actually feed one of these over. Like you might get the live feed or the. I'll make it. I'll let you do the podcasting stuff so you can learn, and I'll feed that over to you.
The fuck's he talking about?
Never mind.
Feed me. You're right. You're gonna feed me. I'm gonna stop this broadcast. I'm gonna go upstairs and eat my Chinese food. That's waiting for an hour.
Yeah. So next week we're gonna finish off The Conjuring, and then Halloween night we're going live with everybody.
Right.
Josh is going to be here. I believe the Bun's going to be here. Mm-hmm. Anthony might call in. I'll see if Eric wants to come in also.
Okay. But what I want to do with that is I want to bring Danielle's going to be calling in. She wants to call in and tell us a story about her house. And I'd like to get if you have a haunted house story or anything like that, you want to bring it on to the show, we'll be more than willing. We're going to give out the phone number. And as soon as we get that part of it worked out, and
so hopefully we'll have
I would like to get as many people out there. If you're out there and you want to call, I know we got some people in Asia. For all our Asian friends out there, we got
Asia, Europe. We have one person in Africa. Hello, my African brethren.
What up?
So definitely, we're on the up and up here. Right. And we want to continue this momentum, this good momentum. We added 2 people to our podcast.
Good people, by the way, people that deserve it.
Yeah, and I think even Josh is going to be added to the Green Hour podcast too, if he would like to. Because I know Josh knows a lot of movies and stuff like that, and we could talk more movie stuff. But
just don't tire him out for this broadcast.
Shut up.
This is his first fucking broadcast. Doing that Green Hour shit.
So Halloween night we're going live with everyone, and Halloween at 8:00 we have a special debut. Everybody's seen this video, and I think it's actually been pretty good. Editing wise, music wise, it's.
Who edited it?
I edited it, of course.
Okay, so it must be good.
Thanksgiving, we are having another video coming out, and it's a little Thanksgiving treat for everybody. And I think maybe the first or second week of December, there's a documentary coming out, directed by me, yours truly.
Documentary about what?
Well, I'll tell you. But yeah, so continue.
Fucking company, I don't even know what the hell these
Continue following our Facebook page, our YouTube. We have a Twitch now. Keep on following us on. Fuck this guy! I swear to God.
I just trying to fit in. I got a Twitch.
Did you not see my face? I wasn't any better than what he was doing.
So.
I don't know what the fuck he's talking.
YouTube, Facebook. We have 2 pages. Green Hour Media is Israel.
Is Israel's a better one?
YouTube, it's Green Hour Media. Twitch, it's Green Hour Media. Go to our podcast page at Is This Real and Green Hour Podcast.
Now, I just want to straighten one thing out. At the end of the next broadcast, when we finish off this the Conjuring Part 2 here, okay, I want a phone number that we got to give out.
Why are you saying this on air?
Well, I just want to let the people know that that's coming. I don't want them to send 2 cups in a string to try to get in touch with us.
No, we will iron out all the details because I might have to just get a new phone.
You mean you might have to get a second wire?
A second line.
Second line from upstairs.
No.
To come.
No.
You're still not going to do it my way?
No.
All right, look, it's 9:19. I enjoyed this 7 o'clock start.
Like I said, fuck you. So like I said,
wonderful.
Just go follow all of our stuff. And we're gonna, like I said, it's choppy right now. It's our first video broadcast, and we're trying to get this done correctly. But again, I am doing this all by myself.
We are going to have giveaways. There's a few giveaways that we have that I want to have that as a surprise on our on the Halloween show.
Yeah, we will give out giveaways, and I don't know what they are. I haven't seen them.
Pictures of you, autographed.
That would be amazing. But good night, everybody. Thank you for listening.
Good night.
I will see you guys. This episode will be put on our Is This Real podcast page on Spotify. But yeah, so thank you for guys listening. I'll see you next week. I'll see you guys next week. All right?
Yeah,
definitely.
Take care,
Good night. Good night.
Good night.